every crossroads, we grieve the countless versions of ourselves we silently leave behind. Each potential path whispers possibilities, yet choosing one demands sacrificing infinite imagined destinies. We rarely acknowledge that choosing forward is also choosing the death of countless futures. Every decision draws boundaries around our identity, carving us into something more defined yet limited. Time pushes us onward, forcing commitments while our unwalked lives dissolve into forgotten possibility. Free will feels powerful, yet heavy, because it demands we sever ties with imagined selves. We wander through choices, believing we're free, unaware each step discards invisible alternatives forever. The masks represent who we could have become, each fading when we finally decide. Sometimes the hesitation hurts more than the choice, because hesitation preserves every possibility. Every unchosen path becomes a ghost following us, reminding us of abandoned potential. We imagine freedom as expansion, yet real freedom often demands the courage to narrow ourselves. The storm is the mind arguing, mourning futures dying the moment one direction is chosen. These pages represent lives unwritten, chapters abandoned as soon as we make difficult choices. Free will asks us to become one person when we could have lived as many. Mirrors reflect who we are, but cracks remind us of who we chose not to be. Every step upward costs the collapse of steps we'll never return to again. The light of clarity often exposes the weight of our lost possibilities, not just truth. We cling to what could have been, even while walking forward toward what might still be. Decisions carve permanent marks on us, shaping identities we embrace and identities we surrender. The fog represents uncertainty, yet uncertainty is what gives choices their profound emotional depth. Each ribbon is an unrealized life unraveling behind us the moment movement begins. Reflection reveals the truth. Freedom is messy, painful, and shaped by irreversible commitments. What disappears isn't wasted. It becomes the silent cost of becoming someone specific. Our shadows stretch toward imagined futures, splitting when we finally declare a direction. The internal debate is never about right or wrong, but which self must fade. Doors vanish when ignored, reminding us that opportunities die quietly without confrontation. Too many directions can paralyze, transforming freedom into anxiety over lost potential. Identity solidifies not by expansion, but by choosing one direction and letting others dissolve. Decisions feel urgent, yet their consequences melt slowly into the shape of our becoming. Choosing means letting go, even when we cannot see what exactly we've released. Symbols of potential futures fade, urging us to embrace decisive action despite emotional cost. The collapse symbolizes the painful truth: infinite potential cannot coexist with committed action. The dim flame reveals the fleeting nature of possibility, urging acceptance of limitation. True freedom isn't chaos. It's choosing purpose within chaos, despite inevitable losses involved. Creation and destruction intertwine whenever we choose, shaping a future while deleting another. Letting go of the imaginary can feel like mourning loved versions of ourselves. Horizons remind us possibility is vast, yet we can only inhabit one life fully. Even tiny decisions carry weight, altering trajectories while extinguishing unseen alternatives. The riddle of choice is this: gaining direction often requires accepting painful limitation. We quietly farewell unchosen selves, knowing they will never exist beyond imagination. Every chosen reality collapses infinite others, creating both clarity and an ache of absence. Holding one path means surrendering others, proving free will is both gift and burden. The moment of choosing transforms storms of doubt into motion, however imperfectly understood. Once the fork fades, the decision becomes identity, welded into who we are becoming. Freedom begins not in limitless potential, but in choosing one future and embracing its cost.
As we step forward, the corridor tightens, reminding us that clarity often requires sacrifice. Shadows lengthen when we commit, reflecting the depth of what we've chosen to relinquish. Each fading road is a quiet acceptance that we cannot live every imagined version. Fragments of light guide us, showing that even incomplete clarity can inspire courageous decisions. The labyrinth behind us unravels, proving certainty only appears after we commit to movement. Letting go isn't weakness, it's the emotional cost of choosing a singular, authentic identity. Convergence reminds us our life ultimately becomes defined by the path we consistently walk. The fading symbols teach us that possibility is abundant, but lived reality demands focus. Many options remain illusions until we approach them, discovering their weight only through engagement. Footprints replace fantasies, leaving behind the certainty of action over endless hypothetical dreaming. Within us reside competing futures, and choosing one means allowing another to quietly depart. Choices flow like rivers, guiding us while eroding the terrain of unchosen destinies. Sometimes clarity illuminates a single path, confronting us with uncomfortable certainty about our future. Every path curls inward, reminding us life ultimately narrows into commitments we consciously embrace. Touching what's fading teaches us presence cannot coexist with the desire for infinite alternatives. When crossroads merge, they reveal that some choices are less about direction than self-definition. Paths erase themselves to remind us that even hesitation shapes who we eventually become. Symbols of choice dance around us, yet only intentional direction transforms potential into truth. Our past selves negotiate with future aspirations, each demanding space within our limited timeline. Even under fog, the faint glow of direction encourages persistence through emotional uncertainty. Alternate selves dissolve, reminding us freedom requires releasing attachments to impossible parallel identities. The collapsing crossroads mark the moment our choices shift from possibility to irreversible reality. We craft our futures intentionally, understanding shaping one path means eliminating countless others. Winds of time push away unchosen trails, urging us to commit fully to direction. We drag remnants of who we could have been, learning to accept their gradual disappearance. A new horizon appears when we move, replacing doubt with the shape of becoming. Dust settles where options once stood, marking the emotional cost of irreversible decision. Thinning realities reveal that our existence must eventually align with one chosen intention. The brightest path demands courage because illumination often exposes sacrifices we prefer ignoring. Futures merge when we commit, replacing plurality with the grounded weight of a single journey. Decision markers crumble to remind us certainty isn't given, but created through mindful action. Possibility scatters when confronted with choice, revealing the fragile nature of imagined futures. Converging shadows indicate alignment, where internal doubts finally surrender to chosen purpose. A narrowing road can brighten, proving limitation sometimes brings focus rather than confinement. Erased crossroads remind us our freedom grows when we honor the direction we've already embraced. The compass dissolves, teaching that direction eventually comes from within, not external certainty. Memories of forgotten paths twist inward, becoming quiet testimonies of our evolving identity. Steadiness arises not from knowing the outcome, but accepting the cost of moving forward. Softly closing doors represent the peace that accompanies accepting life's irreversible transitions. As futures fade, the horizon strengthens, clarifying which direction truly resonates with purpose. When branching stops, we discover that commitment strengthens the voice of our chosen identity. The void signifies liberation, showing that release of alternatives can calm our restless minds. The distant light symbolizes clarity earned through the courage to narrow our infinite potential. We quietly farewell our unrealized selves, honoring their presence without allowing them control. True freedom emerges when we accept the path chosen and release sorrow for paths abandoned.